We're back.
There we go. All right, so give a minute so they can come back. Mm. You want this for my life, my life.
Oh, hey, I know Twan and Trina, they came through on the last one. Y'all still here?
Mm.
I think a mass text is getting ready to go out to everybody.
A mass text message, huh?
I guess.
Talking about me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, good. Oh, I almost said good morning. Good morning. It's not morning time. Good evening. My name is Tamika, and this is hubby,
Mr. No Cap.
Mr. No Cap, and we are helping women with incarcerated spouses get the word out about what life is like after prison. What is the relationship like after prison? What do you need to know? So this is marriage after lockup, and we are coaching women to help them live high quality lives, so they can also create healthy relationships. And we do that through providing self clarity and getting the understanding of what life is like in prison. So if you're interested in getting some help, you can DM me at Fit Prison Wife or Mr. No Cat here on the Instagram. What are we
Mm-hmm.
talking about today?
Progress.
Progress. So today we are talking about what does progress look like after prison. Mm. I know that for me, progress doesn't look the same in my eyes to what he thinks progress looks like. Let's talk about it. What you got for me? So I feel like I, the person who has never been to prison or the person at home probably has or expects things to move a lot faster or maybe is unaware of what has to happen as far as the changes that have to take place in order for progress to happen. Or what is progress? So if someone comes home from
I mean
prison,
that.
what
I
does
mean
progress mean?
that's the $1 million question right there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that I believe that is got to be innately personal. You know, because not saying that your fruits are not judged. You know what I'm saying? Because you open yourself up to criticism. Period. But at the end of the day, progress to you is not progress to me, is not progress to you, is not progress to this person. Why? Because there's no universal right and wrong. So what I feel as though is right, and I have progressed this far. Why? Because I have lived the life that I lived, and my experiences, and my, you know, good times, bad times, scars, and all that stuff is not yours. So sometimes people just be progress for what's up, Trina, what's up, Twan. Sometimes people really, you know what I'm saying, progress for some people is just getting up out of bed in the morning.
Mm. Yes, I know about that.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
you can't it's not a universal right and wrong with progress. You know what I'm saying? And once you start getting into the conversation, to me, you start getting into the you can't help but to have a judgment, because at the end of the day, if said person is having a conversation about progress, listen, I don't think you meet in a bar. Now, sometimes people be slacking, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people that's actually trying, but a person don't understand what that next person dealing with or what they not dealing with, what came down the pipe. You know what I'm saying? Like on any given day, everybody dealing with something different. So my progress,
What's up, the Lisa Flair on Instagram?
my progress,
Let's start here. Let's do this. Let's organize it. So, someone who comes home from prison, where does the progress look like in terms of what's the first thing they need to tackle? So, when we talk about progress, let's talk about progress as far as like the mental aspect. So, if you have a person who's trying to stay home from prison, what is the first thing that they need to tackle or get past mentally? So they're home. Do they have to?
Again, it's relative. You got some people that don't understand how to get a birth certificate and a social security card. You got other people who just don't know how to enunciate and speak and conduct themselves in society. You know what I'm saying? So his struggles is not going to be his struggles, is not going to be his struggles. It is all going to be different. So the mental space and frustration is going to be at different levels. If I can come home and be functional in society, meaning I can come home, I can get a job, I can make money, I can do functional stuff. I'm light years beyond the person who don't have no skills at all, not even a GED. So our struggles is different. Our progress is different. Progress for him, he might be, man, shit, I just made it through an interview.
The Lisa Flair says they give you a AS card and a B cert. I just got out. Oh. Trina said, what if they don't care if they go back? Oh, that's a good point. A person who doesn't care about going back to prison, she says, or if content that if it's wait a minute, or if content that it's a possibility to go back for whatever is a good reason.
I mean, again, the ends gotta justify the means. Like if you can put that shit on the scale and you can have a hard conversation like, yo, look, if this happened and I go back, you know what I'm saying? Like, is you okay with it? And you can have that actual conversation and be 100 with it. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but at the end of the day, if you slide, you know what I mean? Like, again, universal right and wrong.
Hey, y'all, what's up?
Hold on, because we on YouTube too now. Hold on a second. So we got somebody on Instagram who hopped on the phone and says that they just came home from prison. What's your name? What is your name?
Welcome home.
What's your name?
My name is Delisa. I'm in Atlanta.
Delisa she's in Atlanta. How long have you been home?
Look, I was like, oh man, they got the right topic going. Because you know what? I did 3 years because I was drinking and driving. And I did programs. Like, have you heard of RSAT?
RSAT program, yeah. They stopped it in Maryland where you basically map your way out of prison. You do the stuff that they do and you get out earlier.
Yeah. And the thing about that is, when I went in older, so I didn't have fucking time to be playing.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. I didn't have time to be playing. And here in Georgia, where are you guys located?
We're in Maryland.
Maryland.
Maryland. In Georgia, it's a big time money thing. So that revolving door, a lot of smart people, intelligent, but they get high, and so therefore, I said, if you want to stay out of prison, it seems like if you stop getting high, you'll stop making bad decisions.
So maybe for some people, if they're under the influence, not going back to prison or progress looks like getting off the drugs or alcohol.
Or just taking your medication. See, because a lot of people, they don't take their medication, and they start taking, they do alcohol and drugs to mask. But in there, you have to take.
Well, she's spinning.
Oh. They have to take their. Could you hear me?
Yep. Yeah, you said that they have to take their medication.
Yes, and see, a lot of people take other people's medication. I've met several people that when I first went in, they were okay, but then they start having these parties and taking whipping and putting other people medication, and they be crazy as I don't know what. So, see, my niche is to teach people that RSAT program. That's what I'm working on right now.
That's a goal. They used to have it in Maryland. They took it out. They took the RSAT out. They took the math out. They took all of that out.
So let me ask you, and you guys can kind of, I guess, compare what your journey has been post incarceration. You've been home how long now?
I've been home for 2 years.
2 years. All right. So let's talk about the first year you came home. What was the first change in mentality as far as going from prison and coming home? Because I guess your goal was not to go back, right? So right. What was the thought process like that you had to actively do in order to change your mindset? As in, I don't want to go back to prison. What was that process like mentally?
For me, I come from a middle-class family, but I come from alcoholism, and I'm from Compton originally. So I'm with that gang affiliated, but we don't get caught like how they get caught here. Here, you have ladies that take up for their man, and to me, that's dumb. Because if anybody needs to go to prison, is the person that did whatever they did. You get caught, you go. And then they say, well, no snitching. Well, it really don't have nothing to do with snitching. If you let people take responsibility for themselves, they grow up. Right?
I would agree to that.
I have been told several times, don't drink and drive, don't drink and drive. But my criminal thinking, I can drink and drive. I'm not going to get caught. But all of my criminal actions have been from drinking and driving, and then I hit a man. And once I hit him, I was like, oh man, I done messed up now, right? But just think, I was forewarned. We all are forewarned. So when I went in there, I was more or less like, I'm going to take responsibility to change my life, to change the way that I think, to change my behavior, to help others if I can. Because I was in tears trying to help people that didn't want help.
Gotcha. So you're saying in order to make progress, it has to be in you to want to make a change yourself, basically. And if it's not in you, then change is not going to happen.
It is real hard because you can talk to you blue in the face. Because I know somebody that did a dope dealer, did 20 years, came out smart. I'm talking about highly intelligent. Got a job, $20, $30 an hour in LA. Was doing everything, but incarcerated mind. Man, he went out and broke into somebody's house. And he making money. Come on. And he had money saved from 20 years before that. Come on. It's something in that prison he liked.
All right. You got I hear you. All right, meet us on YouTube because we're actually on YouTube right now. Prison Love Mindset. Okay.
Okay.
I'm about to click off of Instagram, but we're on here every Friday, 10 p.m. It's Prison Love Mindset. I was hopping on here to let people know we were live on YouTube. Okay. We appreciate you. I'm gonna holler at you though.
Yep, I love what you're doing.
All right, thanks, girl.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right. All right, so that was somebody who hopped on live on Instagram. So she's talking about progress. So it's nice to have different perspectives, but progress in her eyes is being in a mindset that you have to be willing to want to make the change yourself. So if that person is not ready to change, if that person is not in a place where they want to do better, then I guess the chances of them going back are high because they don't have a reason to change yet. And then she also mentioned about, if drugs and alcohol are involved, then that is something that they have to make a change with because when you're under the influence, you make bad decisions. So I think those are two good things. What you got to want it first, and then not putting yourself in a position where you're not thinking straight and you're not making good decisions for yourself. What do you think? You think that's relevant? How relevant are both of those? From your perspective.
I mean, definitely relevant. You know what I'm saying? So, I heard that, y'all.
Who that? Trina? Trina, you upset?
No. She said, "Yo, let's keep it on task. Let's talk about progress."
You don't think that's relevant, Trina? That progress doesn't involve wanting to make a change, and that you have that if drugs and alcohol involved, that has to be handled. What are your thoughts on that, Trina? And you, Mike?
I mean, why is it wrong?
No, I'm asking her what her thoughts on. She said it's not progress, or she doesn't believe that that's the topic about progress.
Well, okay, Twan, what's up?
Oh, it's Twan, not Trina. Okay, my fault. What's up, Lisa?
All right, so what I'm saying is this, right? You have to want to change. I agree with the fact that you have to want to change a certain thing in order to make a certain level of progress past whatever. You have the want has to be there. However,
what's up, Chanel?
What I'm saying is if the want isn't there, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong. That just means that a person is just being a person. You know what I mean? He ain't reached that or she ain't reached that level yet to think that. They might be on a different level. So it doesn't, so it might not correlate to them, yo, I'm making bad decisions if I'm drunk or I'm high or I'm this or I'm that. The correlation might be, I don't feel like dealing with the fact I was touched when I was young. So I'm trying to numb the pain. So that it to me, it's like how can you measure? It's very personal. But at the same time, it's very public too, because people are going to inspect your fruit.
The topic we're talking about, Chanel, is what does progress look like post-prison? Because I don't know, in my opinion, I feel like there's a discrepancy between the person who is supporting the person coming home may sometimes probably hold them at a higher standard or expect them to be moving at a certain pace, and may not be considering certain things because they don't know what it feels like, or they don't know or understand what it's like to progress from being in prison to coming home in the real world. So we're getting some insight as to what, um, from their perspective, what is progress involved?
I
Because
agree,
progress could be something small, like he said, like Mike said earlier, that progress could be just getting out of bed. And so, why did you say that? Just getting out of bed? I can relate to that when he was locked up, because that was progress for me. Getting out of bed with a smile was something that I wasn't always able to do. But
I mean, because I mean, at the end of the day, I was making a point, and I knew that point would hit home. I didn't have to say anything past that. That point right there would drive my point home with you, because I know that that right there specifically resonates because I remember you saying that to me. So that level of progress there is not the same level of progress that you are now. You're at a different level, you're at a different standard, you know what I mean, you've grown from your, whatever.
let me read Trina's comment. It could be life that makes you have to make messed up decisions, not alcohol or drugs. Yes, that is possibly, but that's just life. So it sounds like what you're talking about is environment. So sometimes your environment kind of boxes you in to making not so good decisions.
Hell yeah.
That makes sense.
And at the end of the day, it can, the best decision that you can make, like I'm not even gonna say that it's not so good. The best decision might be shitty and shittier. You know what I'm saying? So you choose the lesser of the two evils. That doesn't mean that you made a bad decision. That just means that you, like, sometimes life, you know what I mean, will throw you a fucking curveball. You be like, damn.
Chanel said, great topic. That's progress for me. Lisa Flair, do you have a lot of time to think about self and be selfish about what you want your life to look like after you leave there? And you can make that happen with support.
What's the question?
I don't think it was a question. I think it was a state. Or wait a minute, was she asking a question? Do you have a lot of time to think about self and be selfish about what you want your life to look like after you leave there?
Of course you got time. If that's what you choose to think about. You locked up 24 hours a day. You choose what you want to think about when you think about it. And sometimes, like, again, environment. You got some people who haven't been out of the radius of Baltimore City ever. So your progress is going to be very different.
I feel like this is an unrealistic idea, though, of what progress means. I think a lot of women, they're supporting a man who's coming home, think the progress is, oh, give him a month or two, settle in, and then he's going to get a job, and like they're not thinking about like whatever mental struggles you're going through, or I don't know what is it that you have to tackle. Can you give examples of things that you have to overcome?
Oh yeah, definitely. Just being able to walk around.
What do you mean? Just being able to walk around.
Just being able to just jump straight in the shower, come out, go in the fridge.
Is that a shock?
My phone ring.
Is that a shock? Being able to do
just a bit, yeah. Everything that's around you, that has been around you for the past few years, has been metal, door slamming, this, count, boom, boom, very regimented and very. So you get out here, you be like, damn, oh shit, I can just watch TV. Oh, I can just go to a movie. I ain't been able to do that. That's progress. Helping you to think free. I'm free. All of this stuff that you're not used to reminds you every day, yo, damn, I'm free now. I ain't gotta wear shower shoes to the shower.
Meanwhile, I feel like the other half, the person who's been waiting for you is probably light years ahead of you. You're thinking about all of that, and they're like, "All right, what job are you getting? What are you working on? What are you researching? What are you doing?" You know what I'm saying? Like they're like probably light years ahead thinking about stuff, and you're just like,
Because
wow.
because the two life experiences
Yeah.
has mastered two different sides of life. You surviving out here, paying bills, doing this, doing that, very different because it's life out here. This is what matters. Me surviving in there, doing this, whatever like that, don't matter out here. But you can't tell me that because I went through it. But yeah, I'm conscious enough to know that it don't matter in it out here.
Chanel, I feel that especially now that at the end of my hubby's time. Oh, that was a statement that Lisa Flair had. I think progress varies from person to person. Yep. Progress comes from pre-planning. What kind of pre-planning should be done for progress there, Lisa? When you do time, you have enough time to plan your first 72 hours. Your next 48 hours, basically one step at a time. Don't get overwhelmed. That's interesting because
again, you have anomalies though. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't know a few anomalies that just come out and they just got everything figured out.
She's talking about just the first 72 hours.
Oh yeah, that's how it is for most of us.
Really, that's interesting. I mean, like me, I'm like, oh, first. I'm thinking in terms of months and years. Yeah, you're all just thinking about the first 48 to 72 hours. That kind of brings into perspective. Wow. Let me read that again. When you do time, you have enough time to plan your first 72 hours, your next 48 hours, basically one step at a time. Don't get overwhelmed. So that kind of brings to light like how slow or how small the increments are for you guys coming home. Like that just kind of puts it into perspective for me. That you're just thinking about those first few hours of being home. Meanwhile, the person waiting for you is like, "Oh, we can't wait till we do this. We're gonna go on the trip. We're gonna do this and that." And you're like, "Whoa, I'm just trying to step out and get through tomorrow."
I went to the grocery store. I said, "Joe, goddamn, it's a big ass commissary." That's how mentally fucked up you be. I said the grocery store is a big commissary.
Interesting. Same when you transition from poverty to wealth, or forgive someone and choose to heal. Right, T. My hubby and I have the convo often. So that's Chanel. The Lisa Flair. Yes, the things that we've taken for granted now is a blessing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Twan, progress is what you and wifey come together to decide what your relationship is all about. From that, a progress will be set consciously and or subconsciously. That's interesting. Progress is what you and your wifey come together to decide. We didn't come together to decide what progress was. That's interesting to me. We never had a coming together and say, or I guess lack of plan is that there should be a plan as far as what progress would look like. But I know from my perspective, I don't know. I don't know what progress would look like because I've never been to prison before.
Exactly.
I don't know. But that's an interesting concept. Progress is what you and your wifey come together to decide. Now, do you come together after a time frame after he's been home, or is that planned prior to them coming home? That's something to think about, though.
I mean, I think in order, there is a way for that comment to work, but I think the only way that works for me is if you really are ready to sit down with your spouse and both of you are really ready to bear all of your scars and stuff like that. And then I feel like you can have a progress like that. But anything other than that,
But at the
it's
same
personal.
time, you don't know how damaged or how affected that person is by prison. So how do you justify what progress looks like?
That's why I'm saying you both got to be ready to like open your scars up. Yo, this is what happened. This is how it happened. This is how I felt. You bop 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 bop. That's the only way for me that comment works.
But is the person gonna
That you
wanna,
come together, husband and wife, and like, okay,
would you feel comfortable having that conversation, saying, "Oh, this is what happened to me," and would that person receiving it want to hear that?
exactly. That's heavy.
I don't
That's
know.
heavy. That's why I'm saying it's not unrealistic, but it's not normal. That's like in a perfect world for real. You know, like a person is really ready to bed off. Oh, yo, this is me.
That's a lot to bear for somebody who doesn't know what's coming at them. I don't know if
Absolutely.
I would be able to handle it.
You
I don't think so. The Lisa Flair. It takes time to get back acclimated into society, but there should have been a plan out in place. A plan put in place, or should I say, plans put in place and research done before release.
Who
Okay,
says?
so my question is, who takes charge of that? Does the facility help with that, or does the person have to already be mentally in a position or place to
Again,
like
yeah, you
to
have
say,
be,
hey, I gotta have a plan?
You have to be mentally stable enough to say, yo, let me figure out who the case manager is or the social worker or this or that because I need the ID and I need this. People don't think about that.
And what about the people who went in as juveniles, went in as young people? Like, do they even have the capacity unless someone is coaching them or telling them, hey, this is what you got to get ready for? I mean, you got to be mentally, you got to be like in tune with what's about to happen.
And you got some that are because they make themselves in tune with it. They watch the news instead of watching sitcoms or whatever at night. They watching ABC and international news and BBC and stuff like that. So they kind of in the know, But again, that's the difference. Some people I ain't watching that.
If you guys are enjoying the topic, give us some thumbs up here so we can get this information dispersed to a larger crowd. We would appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. All right, so where are we at? Twan, you guys are two different individuals. Well, that's for sure. You talking about me and him, or just the person coming home or the person waiting? But as a couple, you will come to your own personal understanding of each other from that progress will be readily understood. Planning months ahead is way too much. Huh.
You know what? I've seen people come home with a plan.
What? Okay, can
you
explain
that they make in prison?
What is a plan? Like, what is a plan? Like, what are you planning?
Yo,
what exactly is a plan?
Like to me,
like it sounds nice.
Me, yeah, exactly. To me, I know one person only that came home with an actual plan, and that was just to stay in school. And he just worked his way through school, and he finished school and all that other stuff. But you don't know what life is going to hit you with.
That's my point. How do you make a plan for a world you know very little about? Unless you went in as an adult, was only there for a period. You experienced life. But I feel, what about the people who went in and were,
yeah,
you never really experienced life on the outside as an adult? What the heck are they supposed to do?
It depends on what your mental capacity is versus what your life experiences is versus your support system's intelligence and resources. It makes a difference that I'm married to you and you got XYZ behind your name versus because at the end of the day, if push came to shove, you can go out and get, 60 something, whatever you can get.
Is a support person, who is the
Makes
spearhead?
a difference.
Who should be spearheading this plan? The support person? Because they...
Damn right. They got the resources. They out here living life.
But what if the... I mean, to the same token, I
They
don't,
know what a person is coming into as far as life. Now, that doesn't mean that I know your experiences or whatever like that, and I'm identifying that. I'm saying, yo, these are the steps that you need to make. However, you need to make it in order to make it out here.
okay, did you have a plan? Because we didn't discuss this because, okay, there was, I think before he came home, we had discussed possibly putting some type of plan together or discussing what,
I
it was
mean,
very,
yeah,
but he
yeah,
came home
but
so,
yo, yeah.
he came home so honest, I mean, so quickly that we never really had a discussion. And
Again, we all have different skill sets. So my plan was to a, you know what my plan was, and when I had the job, they prevented me from getting the job. It kind of like popped my bubble.
what was your plan? You just said you knew what my plan was, but you didn't say what it was.
Just to make sure, get a job and start contributing like immediately.
So did you have like a deadline for I wanted to have a job by this by a month after, or did you have like a time frame?
Nah, cause I mean, I didn't.
No, it
No.
was just get a job.
Yeah.
But what see, I don't think about the job stuff.
I did a
I'm
total
more,
of 16 years.
I'm thinking more in terms of did you make a plan, like a mental plan? Like that's
No.
the stuff I want to know about.
No,
Like
No.
nobody's talking about the real stuff.
No.
Because in order to stay out of prison, you got to change your mindset. You got to get out of the criminality, whatever you want to call it, mindset of the way you think.
You do.
But people don't
You
talk
do.
about that stuff. See, no one's
And it's
talking
not
about.
is not talked about. It's not helped. It's not
Like getting a job
nurtured.
is not going to keep you out of prison.
Exactly. But if you can't think, if you're coming into a situation chalk type with responsibility, and you have any type of nuts, you're only if you can't think past go, you can think past. You can think to yo, I gotta contribute. If you got any type of decency in you, so that's progress. I mean, and you do need a new mindset. But sometimes you don't have the time to invest in self because you got different people coming into different situations. Some people don't have the time to invest in self.
That should be a priority, investing in self.
It should.
Chanel, my hubby was talking about a 5-year plan the other day. He wants mine. I told him I need a 5-minute plan because I ain't there. That's reality right there. Yes, you get help. Is there anyone who's in prison that helped you with put the plan together?
I mean, you gotta ask the right questions. They have people to help you, but it's not promoted. It's not put up on the board. It's not talked about. So you have to ask the right questions. Where can I get this? Where can I, in order to get the information? So it's available, but if you don't know to ask the questions, then you don't get the information.
You don't know what you don't know. My hubby, did I read that already? My hubby has a detailed 5-year plan, Chanel says. He's older, very mature, and has been down almost 16 years. The Lisa Flair, you need inside and outside help. That makes sense. Twan, let me speak freely. I will give you a greater understanding of what everyone is talking about. Definitely need a new mindset, Chanel says. Twan, the person.
I agree 100%.
The person that is already home is the most important.
110%.
Is the most important figure in the process. Progress. As long as that person is competent. The person coming home is or has to come to grip with his or her new reality. Twan, that's an excellent point. That is what I.
Saying that.
That's Trina?
Yeah.
That's Twan.
Oh, Twan saying that.
It's Twan talking.
Oh,
Yo, Twan,
excellent point.
I 100% agree with you that you have to come to grip with his. Well, this is what I call acceptance. It's just like, so you have to accept. I think what a lot of people who are home don't do is they don't accept the fact that the person coming home is changed. They're not the same. They're not the same person.
Mm-hmm.
They have not accepted it because one, either they don't know. That's one of those things where they don't know what they don't know, and they don't really know to the extent or how severe it is going to be. So you can't accept it, your reality, because you don't know what your reality is going to be. That's the first part. And then they think maybe they have an idea, but they really don't think that their situation is going to be as bad as what they've heard in other stories, probably.
So I just thought about something. The person that's home, either you survived or you sunk. One or the other. It's no in between, because even if you existing, you sinking. So either you're a survivor or you're not. The person that came home from prison, either he's a survivor or he's not. So therefore, your experiences are equal, but you will never be able to say, damn it, I identify with you. Just like I can never say that. So because you either survive or you sunk. Now, if you sink, that's what I mean about time. People come into different time, because if they coming into a situation and their spouse is sinking, they got less time to invest in self. Versus, yes, we know they should, but they don't have the time. We all have different, you come home to different situations, different circumstances. And my progress, your progress, you have learned how to survive out here. So you know what it takes to click. Yo, it takes 2.5 minutes to get from this light to that light. To go here to there, to do this, to do that, to boop, 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 boop. But if we go inside us, if we go inside a prison, I don't care which one, pick one, anyone. Because they all the same. Why? Because that's what I know. Oh, honey, they back on the wall. Oh, listen. Move that way. Same way, just different.
The Lisa Flair plan is what does his new life look like with you? Doing a resume and writing everything down. While locked up, you invest in self. What does investing in self look like while you're locked up?
It's different. Anything that's positive, anything that you're doing that's positive, I would say. Just not just to answer the question, because you're investing in yourselves, or anything that's positive. So it could be anger management programs. It could be doing plumbing shop. It could be masonry. It could be, whatever. It could be religion. Whatever it is, that's bringing you a sense of peace and positive energy. That's what, investing in yourself is, to me.
Okay. Me and Mike had a conversation actually earlier today, and which what prompted this topic, because he's been home. How long? He's been home a year and almost. I mean, a year, maybe 4 or 5 months. And when you're home, there's going to be a natural progress that happens just by the fact that you are out on the street and you're having real world experiences. So, and he has a want to grow. He wants to get better. But there's a difference between a natural growth from just being out on the street versus what I call like an active growth, meaning that you are actually putting an effort into doing everything you can to have self-growth. And I guess in my opinion, I was like, I know he can do better. if he puts more active, more action into his growth. And I think that's worth having a conversation with your loved one about what does active growth look like versus just natural growth. Meaning that the natural growth is just him being
I agree.
exposed to
I agree.
everything. And
I agree.
and what does active growth look like? Meaning, if you're doing that, as you said, self growth inside, what are you doing actively?
Because everything that I just said, point made, hands down, I know. But at some point, that becomes an excuse. And you can't reach the point where it becomes an excuse and you fall back on that like, yo, I ain't made no progress. I mean, I'm just getting out of bed. No, you know what I'm saying? So at some point in time, that becomes a crutch. It's very real to a certain point in time. And that right there is personal. And that's only if you're a whole buck with yourself. But you can't tell me, yo, you bullshitting if I know in me I'm not. But if I know in me I am, then yeah.
Chanel says reading, learning, programs. Yep. Swan, also the person coming home will or can run into difficult situations. Job not hiring. Yep. People pushing your buttons. Yep. Etc. This can be a progress stopper. This is when his support team, wife, kids, friends, etc., will be an important factor in keeping her head up, looking straight. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
I think I was probably a sounding board for Mike when he was going through the job hunting process and dealing with different issues that came up when his buttons were being pushed. Because naturally, you would probably follow what the code would be if you were locked up.
I just didn't respond correctly the first few times.
Yeah, I think, especially depending upon how long you've been locked up, the way you react to when your buttons get pushed, it'll probably be somewhat more similar to how you responded. Well, not all the way, but like if this is how you respond, if this side is how you respond in the real world, this is how you respond while you're in prison, you might be leaning this way.
But again,
for how you respond, because that's what you've been used to doing.
Again, this is what I mean about everybody's experiences is different, because if my sole purpose was to get home and back to y'all, I'm going to be accepting a certain amount of bullshit on the chin that I'm dealing with day in, day out, day in, day out. So I may get out here not dealing with the mental issues. Why? Because it's not offered or talked about, and overcompensate one time just because I'm tired. I didn't already took so much while I was in there, but that's nothing that nobody knows about. But at the same time, it's not an excuse either. You got to control yourself. So again, progress is different.
They tell you what to do. That's with all of us, right? So I kind of still want more insight for what the thought process is. And I know it's different for everybody. What stair steps did you have to go through as far as how your mentality changed? Not the job, that kind of stuff. I'm talking about more on a level of maybe we're dealing with like
criminal mindset to.
Yeah, you can talk about from that aspect. Did you go through certain changes, or were there stair steps to?
I mean, yeah, but I think honestly, to a certain level, up to this point, if I'm being honest, it's still parts that, yeah, I still think criminally. And I might look at a situation and be like, damn, I see the angle in that. Not that I would actually do it.
What is criminal thinking?
something that I'm saying that is wrong, that I know is wrong, something that goes against what we might stand for, what we stand for as a couple, what you stand for, whatever. Things that's just, you know what I'm saying, like just period, flat, boom. I might see a situation and say, damn, I see the angle in that. Not that I would do it, but just the fact that I see it and recognize it is a problem. I shouldn't be doing that. Whether I act or don't act, just the fact that I see it. But at one point in time, I would see it and I would move.
Mm-hmm. How many moves have you done lately?
I work at Surface Tech.
What is the? Do you ever have to fight with yourself and say don't do it, or do you ever have to talk to yourself and talk yourself down? Is it a fight between right and wrong?
I mean, yeah, sometimes. You know, if again, it get
and does that fight
get
easier?
dicey when the risk and the reward, like I said, when you putting stuff on the scale, and it's easy to say, all right, no, I ain't gonna do that because of that or this or that. And it's a little bit harder sometimes when you run across something and you like, the risk, but the reward, if I actually pull this shit off, oh my God.
Meanwhile, me at home, do you ever think about the person at home?
You do, because you got to put all that on a scale. But see, it depends. Some people can come in with a truckload of money and say, yo, hey, it was worth it. Okay, honey, let's live. You gonna say, take that shit, get the fuck out. It's different.
So I guess it's
so my skills is different.
Does your support system make a difference when you're faced with making a decision about something you know might be wrong or could land you back in prison? Does the support system play a major role in swaying you either way?
It should.
It should? What do you mean it should?
I mean, it doesn't for everybody, but it should. It should. I mean, the people's lives that you directly affect, your life, my son's life, I directly affect your life if I'm gone. Yeah, it should matter. That's what I'm saying. Your scales is different. You know what I'm saying? Like my scales is different. I get put on the scales. Sometimes I might move and I might fuck the scale up. But you know what I'm saying?
The language, man.
I'm sorry. But sometimes I might mess the scales up. I'm human. At the end of the day, they on the scale. They the only ones on the scale.
Has it gotten easier though? Or is it still is this the temptation there? Like, it hasn't been that much time, but do you find...
Nah, I don't be in the dark corner like, oh my God, yo.
What I'm asking is...
It gets easier over time.
That's what I'm saying. Has it gotten easier?
Absolutely.
When I say easier, I'm assuming that you're making decisions from a place of not wanting... Okay.
Because you're used to being in society more. So even if you do, you might make a wrong decision. You might mess up. You catch it faster though, and be like, "Damn, I shouldn't have did that."
Interesting. So it sounds like it could be luck of the draw too, because if someone messes up, I'll just put that in quotations, or maybe does something that they know they probably shouldn't have when they reflect back. Some people may get caught, some people may not.
Some people may not.
So it could be the luck of the draw too for some people.
Absolutely, 100%.
Now, what about what is progress? How has it looked from your perspective as far as, I don't know, like were you depressed or were you in a black hole when you came home? And how does that progress look like mentally from a health standpoint? was there progress? I mean, it doesn't have. I mean, it's
See, the
time
thing
past
is,
has been short, but has there been any?
um, I mean, for me, honestly, it's very simple, man. You know, if we good and we popping, my energy high. I'm positive. If
No,
we ain't, then I'm in a black hole, and that black hole might be there for whenever. So my progress, I don't look at my progress like I'm like, man, fuck that shit. We beefing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I might say, forget it. Why? Because it don't matter, and I might be in a black hole. Now, is that right? No, because I'm messing myself over at the end of the day. She should not be able to send me to a place where I'm messing myself over. Psychologically, mentally, that's not right. I know this talking to you, yet I don't seek help.
well, what about I'm comparing it to when you first came home when you were dealing with
Oh, it's better. It's better. It gets better. It gets easier. You get
where.
more robotic.
No, okay. So where did you? I want you to explain where did you come from. So when you came home, were you happy? Were you confused? Like, were you worried? Like, what was your mental state? And then how did it progress? Like, where were you mentally?
Yo, mentally, I know I'm messed up. However, at the end of the day, I know how amazingly blessed I am to come into the support system that I'm coming into. So I wasn't worried like I had cell buddies that was worried
Why were they worried?
because they don't know whether the box paperwork gonna go through because the people might can't pay rent. So it's different. And when you sit back and you in the still of the night. Yeah, if you 100 with yourself, you be like, damn, look at the draw, boy. I drew the short straw. Why? Because I know personally guys who didn't.
That's tough. That's tough. They don't even know if they're coming home to a stable house.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They on pins and needles because the people come around looking for alcohol and they like, damn, yo, I hope man they put them beers up.
You mean when they come home and they do unexpected
No,
checks?
before they even get out of prison, just to clear the house.
Okay. So when someone's coming home from prison, they have to
They can't be in a
visit.
house.
They gotta visit the homes that they're planning on going to live at.
Yeah, the box people will come do a walkthrough in the house if they see alcohol.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did do that for
Yeah.
me. I didn't know. I don't remember if they were looking for alcohol. No, they didn't tell me they were looking for alcohol.
No, they're not.
They never told
But
me.
it's on the checklist. But I never had to tell you, honey, why? Because I know it's not in here.
Oh, interesting. They don't even give you a full warning. That's interesting.
No.
Why your support system could do you in? You don't even know it. Well, I didn't know that. Interesting. They never
Again,
told me
my
what they were looking
struggles
for.
is not another person's struggles because they might be really worried about that. However, that doesn't mean that my struggles is insignificant because I might be battling some deeper, darker, different stuff.
Tuan says a person with a certain mentality will always fight with himself daily for many, many, many years, but the motivation factor is what he or she will rely on to keep on moving on this side of life.
I agree.
Motivation, that is what I call why state, your why. What is your reason to keep pushing?
Yeah. Yeah.
What society? Sorry.
And sometimes you have to say the hard stuff if you're 100 with you and say, yo, my spouse can't be my why. I gotta have a different why.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be strong enough to say that. That doesn't mean that your spouse don't matter and she not everything, but no, she can't be my wife. Why? Because at the end of the day, both of us can't be broke at the same time. Mentally. You know what I'm saying? So whereas though if I break down and I'm her why, she my why, all of that stuff, and we break together mentally, what the hell are we gonna do with the kids? Can't happen. But I had to figure that out. That was progress.
I remember that. Tuan says, what society doesn't understand is that it is extremely hard for a person coming home from an extensive prison sentence or a person with a certain mentality coming home from a short sentence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard for us to understand because we've never been there.
Yeah, because again, the longer you stay in there, the more you used to surviving. You start thriving in there if you're actually doing it the right way. The same way that you guys, the winners, start thriving out here if you're doing it the right way. So your experiences is totally different because you really start moving robotically in there.
Do you think the transition is harder for somebody who thrived in prison to come out here and thrive? Or is the concept the same, but is it
Depends on how they thrive.
Oh.
Because you can thrive positively in there.
You can?
Yeah. If you got the right support. Some people just they bump into certain teachers in there and they'll pull them through and put them in different stuff, and they first on the line for college programs and stuff just because a person took an interest. Luck of the draw.
I envision that someone coming home is starting from ground zero because they went from one world to another world. So the progress you made doesn't always translate.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, the progress you made on the inside doesn't. This is the way I see it. It doesn't translate to. Yeah. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
It doesn't matter in the big scheme of things, but how the hell is a society, a person, whoever, gonna say that your experiences don't matter, even though in reality, no, they don't matter. The way that I learned how to move in there really don't matter. Now, it can be used out here to move efficiently, but I gotta figure that out.
Is she talking about you? How long you were locked up, or she's talking about Tuan?
I did it. I mean,
because she already asked you.
Oh.
Tuan, your reason to keep pushing on is going to come from an external source first, wife, kids, etc. Mm-hmm. But eventually will start to come from within. That's exactly what you just said.
I agree.
And it will be necessary for one to rely on himself.
I agree.
I definitely agree with that. That is when the support system starts pulling away. I moved into that phase recently. So there was a realization that I had to stop doing things for him. I had to stop. I felt like I was and I told him I felt like I was an enabler, and that I'm limiting his progress. So I had to be willing to let things fall to the wayside, in order for him to kind of pick up and do for himself. I believe it becomes a point, if you are that support system, you know, you do more hand holding at the beginning and more guiding at the beginning, but there comes a point where you gotta have to gradually let go and let them fall. Just like raising a baby, and he's falling all over the place trying to walk, but we can't hold his hand all the time because he'll never learn that diving off the couch is dangerous. Uh-huh. You know, that's a prime example. Like, I guide him on. He likes to jump off the couch all the time, and I hold his feet, make sure it's a soft landing, and but
if you don't understand, that's why I say sometimes.
And it's hard when you're support system.
Let him fall, but as a mother, grab him. As a wife,
you cringe.
When you first come home, she grab you. until finally she like, yeah.
At a certain extent, you get tired. You're like, whatever, screw it. He got to learn on his own. But you have to come to grips with it, and realize that if you truly want him to get better and truly want him to succeed and flourish out here, you gotta let go of your ropes. You have to.
Everybody
and just pray that he's willing to put in the work to get better.
Yeah. The thing is this, right? No, my progress she can't necessarily measure my progress. However, that does not negate the fact that she has standards. So if my progress is inconsistently not meeting her standards, then my progress really don't make a difference. And how I feel, it don't make a difference. It's not meeting her standards. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say, yo, you're gonna have somebody. It's gonna people that they're gonna inspect your fruit. Your fruits is gonna be inspected. So yeah, all of that internal stuff is internal and stuff like that. But yeah, don't forget you on the time clock.
That is very true. And the time clocks aren't the same.
No.
No. I mean, I guess that's kind of good and bad. Good from the aspect of you're going to be getting challenged to.
You should be. Your spouse should challenge you.
You're being challenged to get better.
Your spouse should.
Than you were probably
exactly.
Thought you're capable.
That should be the main person that challenge you positively. Why? Because at the end of the day, yo, we got to do this. We got to do this together. We got to do it right. These are my standards.
Yeah.
Get the hell off the couch.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, if you guys enjoyed this video, this topic, give us a thumbs up on this video, please. We would appreciate it. Appreciate it. Give some thumbs up on this video. If you're new, welcome to Lisa Flair. I think this might be your first time joining us.
Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you and what's up, Trina and Twan, for coming through. We ain't seen you in a minute. We appreciate you. Thank you, Chanel. I'm not sure who else is out there.
Yeah, did some good weighing in, man.
So we appreciate you. We're gonna be back on, of course, next Friday, 10 o'clock. But you can catch us on the Instagram Mondays at 10 p.m. as well. As long as he's not working the night shift, I'm always on there. Monday nights, 10 a.m. I mean, Lord of mercy. Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm always on Instagram. And if my husband's not there to join me, I always try to pull in a guest. The Lisa Flair, if you want to be a guest one day, hit me up. I know you said you just came home. Or Twan. Twan might have to get you on.
Hell yeah.
Twan ain't been on. For those of you who are supporting loved ones who are currently in prison, please send me a DM. You can comment on this video or send me a DM at Fit Prison Wife. I'm coaching women who have incarcerated spouses. My goal is to help these women live high quality lives and really be able to be happy and be at peace while they're supporting your loved one that's in prison. So whether that means self-growth or having a healthier relationship and discerning whether the relationship is healthy, that's important as well. Please hit me up. Hit me up. Mike. Twan. Oh my goodness.
Why should say my name?
Oh, I don't know. We'll wait to see if another comment comes in. Damn it, Jim. I work too much. Well, Twan, one day we'll get you on there. Y'all mad at y'all because nobody gave us any thumbs up on this video. What's up with that? Sorry, he can't be a guest. Oh, that must be Trina. The wife putting the foot down.
No, because she was trying to be a guest tonight.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think you seen it though. Because you was coming up off the thing.
Oh.
I seen it.
All right. What was Trina talking about? All right, y'all. We out. We appreciate you. I don't know what those emojis are. But
I don't know neither.
Y'all have a good night. And we'll catch you Monday, Instagram. All right.
Appreciate all y'all coming out.